What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, as well as a very sleepy Luca, and we're returning for more Bruce and his 1973 album, The Wild, the Innocent, and the E Street Shuffle. Thank you, as always, to Michaela. And the next track is, I want to make sure I have this right, Wild Billy's Circus Story. It sounds very specific. Obviously, a circus is a type of eccentric and wide-ranging entertainment, and Wild Billy sounds like the name of a showman, someone who puts on performances and perhaps is keen to project an image of, unpredictable excitement and entertainments. But given that Bruce's songs seem to have these collage of characters and a dynamic narrative, sometimes with implied future potential, sometimes with people with implied backstories, I would not be surprised if Wild Billy is not the only colorful figure that we hear about in this song. So let's give it a listen and see what I can catch. This is Bruce Springsteen. The song is Wild Billy's Circus Story, and it's from his 1973 album, The Wild, the Innocent, and the E Street Shuffle.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. The machinist climbs his Ferris wheel like a braid. And the fire eaters lying in a pool of sweat, victim of the heat wave. Behind the tent, the hired hand tightens his legs on the sword, so while the wears blade. The circus town's on the short wave. Well, the runway lies ahead like a great false dawn. Oh, fat lady, baby mama, Missy Bimbo sits in her chair and yawns. And the man beast lies in his cage sniffing popcorn. And the midget licks his fingers and suffers Missy Bimbo's scorn. The circus town's been born. Whoa, and a whistle, drummer, go ballerina to and fro, cartwheeling up on that tightrope. Will a cannon blast, lightning flash, moving fast through the tent, Mars bent. He's gonna miss his fall. Oh, God save a human cannonball. Any flying Zambinis watch Margarita do her next twist. And the ringmaster gets the crowd to count along. 95, 96, 97. A ragged suitcase in his hand, he steals silently away from the circus grounds. And the highway is haunted by the carnival sounds. They dance like a great grease-painted ghost on the wind. A man in baggy pants, a lonely face, a crazy grin. Running home to some small Ohio town. Jesus sent some good women to save all your clowns. And circus boy dances like a monkey on barbed wire. And the biker romances with a junkie, she's got a flat tire. Yeah, now Circus town's on the live wire. And the strong man Samson lifts a midget, little tiny Tim way up on his shoulders, way up, and carries them on down the midway, past the kids, past the sailors, to his dimly lit trailer. And the Ferris wheel turns and turns like it ain't ever gonna stop. And the circus boss leans over, whispers in the little boy's ear, "Hey son, you wanna try the big top? Woolly board, Nebraska's our next stop."
Love that last moment. So yeah, apparently they're going to Nebraska for their next stop. But yeah, it's essentially what I was thinking. It's an eclectic menagerie of circus characters and at least a little suggestion about what each of them are doing, and the idea of this circus town, which, you know, kind of has this fly-by-night. They're here one night, they're gone the next, and I think there's a reference to that, and specifically the idea maybe of, you know, the money that's made is put into a case, and the sounds of the carnival, what was it, like echoing to the highway, something like that. I don't think I'm remembering that correctly. But yeah, it sounds like it's, again, all the entertainments, all the craziness, and all the wild acrobatics and so on, and there's a bit of like reference to the freak show, right? Like there's a reference, I think, to like a fat man. Certainly there's a reference to midget, which I don't know, maybe if the song were written today, you know, there'd be a different word there. Midget, from what I understand, is seen as a pejorative term, and you know, people prefer either little people, or if someone has dwarfism, to be referenced as a dwarf. Nevertheless, that certainly goes back to the circus, right? Like, you know, the fat man, the bearded lady, and so on. You know, these were like attractions because people were interested in seeing like a freak show and so on, and that was often part of like historical circuses. But also, again, we hear reference to elephants dancing funky, and, you know, people on, or the human cannonball, someone being shot out of a cannon, which again is like a classic circus staple. And again, the high wire, as well as saying like the whole circus is like on a live wire, which I'm not quite sure how to read that line, but yeah, it sounds like it's just a kind of a colorful scene painting, a moment in time where they're performing for a given area. And again, the idea that like a local population, a local community would be excited to go see a circus because it's so above and beyond the humdrum of their everyday lives. I feel like there's a, you know, sort of historical nostalgia to that. And even though I actually did go see a circus when I was young, I think it was like the Barnum and Bailey Circus or whatever, I remember thinking it was kind of weird. It was just crazy. I remember laughing at the clowns, which again, clowns are a big, I think they're referenced here too. But yeah, like in general, it was just like, you know, I was very young, and it was like, what did I just see? There was like so many weird things, I don't even know where to start. And I think there's like a bit of that here, and then it's like, we're done, and we, you know, pack up what we made, and we pack up our belongings and our tools and everything, and then we do it all over again the next night in another town. So yeah, and I think like the circus boy, I don't know if that's someone who's like joining, or someone who's like, you know, a stagehand. They help out, they, you know, help set things up and whatever, and maybe they're like training as an apprentice to take over the ringmaster or whatever eventually, or one of the performers. So I wasn't quite sure where the circus boy fit in, but a fun tune. And again, there's an eclectic assortment of instruments. We definitely have a tuba, which is very prominent, and, you know, sort of frumping along, and, you know, maybe when the elephants come in, there's a bit of like personification of that sound as the elephants. But also there's an accordion in there, there's a harmonica in there, I think there's like some sort of plinky, like plucked instrument. I don't think it was a harpsichord, but it had a bit of that kind of, you know, maybe a dulcimer or something like that. So yeah, really eclectic assortment of instruments, and yet right at the center of it is Bruce, the acoustic guitar, and his vocals, which definitely, there was a moment or two where he really flared them up. Generally speaking, this song, he's in that kind of like mellow guitar poet, singer, storyteller type of vocal delivery, but there were a couple moments where he heated it up a little bit, and I enjoyed that. So yeah, a fun and quirky little tune, which fits with the subject matter, right? Like, circuses are fun and a bit weird and a bit quirky, and I think that comes across here. So once again, let me know what you think. Thank you to Michaela for all the Bruce material, and I will see you next time. Peace.